Moving on now, a class 10 student in one of Delhi's leading schools has died by suicide by jumping from a metro station and left behind a suicide note in which he blamed his teachers. This morning, parents held a protest march from the school, as you can see on your screens, and they demanded justice for young Shourya. The 16-year-old boy's father has filed a case in which he has accused 3 teachers and the school's principal of mentally harassing his son so much that he was forced to take his own life. In a suicide note, Shourya apologized to his family for taking this extreme step, but said he was left with no choice. He said, and I will quote him here, "Sorry, mummy, I broke your heart many times and I'm doing it for the last time. This is how the teachers in the school are. What do I say?" Unquote. Now, the Delhi police has filed an abetment to suicide case.
पिछले 8-10 महीने से उसकी शिकायत थी कि मेरे टीचर छोटी छोटी चीज़ों के लिए डांटती है। मुझे भी कंप्लेंट करी थी, ये बेटा शरारती है, पीछे चुटकुले सुनाता है, जोक्स करता है। तो मैंने टीचर को बोला था, मैडम छोटा बच्चा है, अगर ये शरारत नहीं करेगा तो कौन करेगा। तो टीचर ने उसके बाद भी उसको टॉर्चर करना जारी रखा था। उसके बाद हमने बेटे को बोला था कि अभी 10th के 10 दिन बचे हैं, हम स्कूल चेंज कर लेंगे, कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगी। उसने मान भी लिया था, लेकिन 3 दिन पहले उसके साथ जो युक्ति महाजन मैडम ने बोला था, वो पेरेंट्स को बोला कि हम टीसी देंगे तेरा और स्कूल से निकाल देंगे। तो जिस बच्चे के 10th के एग्जाम के अगर 10 दिन पहले प्री बोर्ड से पहले अगर उसको टीसी मिलेगा तो क्या हो सकता है, आप सोच सकते हो। जिस दिन सुसाइड किया उसी दिन वो पैर फिसल करके गिरा था स्कूल में। तो वहाँ पे जो मैडम थी उन्होंने उसको डांटा कि तू जानबूझ के गिरा है। इसने बोला नहीं मैम, मैं गिरा नहीं, मेरा पैर फिसला है। ये रोने लगा तो बोलते ये रोने वोने का नाटक ड्रामा मत कर, ये और ड्रामा मत कर, और इससे मुझे कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला। और ये सब स्कूल के सामने हुआ, क्लास टीचर के सामने। वो ये बड़ा इंसल्ट बर्दाश्त नहीं कर पाया। मेरा बेटा सुबह ड्राइवर के साथ 7:15 बजे स्कूल गया था, लेने के लिए उसका ड्राइवर बाहर खड़ा था, लेकिन वो उसके साथ वापस नहीं आया।
That's a heart-wrenching story. Joining me live is Ishika Verma, a correspondent from New Delhi. Also joining me live, clinical psychologist at Children Plus, Nidhi Anand. Thank you for joining me live here on Breaking Ground. Ishika, coming to you first. We've seen the protests that have taken place. We've discussed the FIR. We've heard the father's version. But is there any statement coming out from that school? If not, it's high time they speak out. All right, there seems to be a problem with Ishika's line there. We'll try and reconnect with her. But going to our guest on the story, Nidhi Anand. Nidhi, I want to talk to you about the pressures children feel. In this case, if you're privy to the information that we have already put out here on NDTV and on Breaking Ground, we've been talking about how this is not the first time that the son had actually told his parents about the harassment, quote-unquote harassment he was going through. My question to you as a clinical psychologist is, when should the parents take note? It's not that these parents did not go and complain to the school, but when is it a reason to be extremely alert and to raise the red flag?
Right. So thank you for having me today. Right. So early impacts that we see when the child is sleeping less, child is withdrawn, child is not eating well, the change in eating habits occurs. The child is more irritable, child is more scared. These can be the first few symptoms that we can see, right? For example, when we talk about the child started acting out, the child starting showing angry behavior, the child is not behaving the way he or she was behaving, can be the first early symptoms.
But Nidhi, also let's talk about the influence teachers have on children. It's such a huge influence during the formative years. This boy was in grade 10. The fear of parents also creeps in here, because what the father has also said while NDTV and other channels have spoken to him, also I think it's a part of the FIR, is that we didn't want to complain again because he was in grade 10. 20 marks or 20% of the marks, one of the two, also hinges on the school. So we were scared. So this also shows how parents seem to be a bit hesitant when it comes to the powers that be, in this case the school.
Right. So when we talk about the child's environment, it comprises of a school and a home, right, and a community. So when a child is going through a personal issue in school or at home, the school is equally to be supportive, right? For example, the parents are saying, as we heard, that the child was feeling scared in the school. How school can help the child is by being there, right? To her, the teachers would be listening to him. That okay, you're feeling scared. That why are you feeling scared? What is the reason behind it? What they can do for it? A school counselor could step in to know more about like how to handle the situation, who are the bullies, how to take care of the situation more effectively, that the child feels safer at school.
It's very important. Nidhi Anand, thanks for joining me live there. I have Akil also, who's been tracking developments on this story. Akil, my question to Ishika, and the line dropped there, was, we've heard from the parents, we have details of the FIR, we've been through the unfortunate suicide note written by that 16-year-old, but we haven't heard from the school yet. Isn't it high time they speak out? Have they spoken out? Are they still framing a statement? Tell us more about that and where the investigation stands.
That's right, Vedika. If you see, we have tried to speak to the school authorities, but right now the private entity is not responding, and they are saying that they will even take more time. Because if you see in this very unfortunate incident that took place on Tuesday, when what we have seen that at a metro station, this unfortunate incident took place in which what we have seen that a 16-year-old boy committed suicide from metro station on platform number 2, and he just jumped from there. And from there, what we have gathered that the Metro Police team has recovered a CCTV note, recovered a suicide note from that very spot, in which it was mentioned that there were 3 teachers from that very school, from a prominent school in the national capital, and in that suicide note he has basically alleged that these 3 teachers were basically harassing for a very long time, and this event was going for almost a year. We have tried to speak to the parent, father of the deceased victim in this case, and he has said that there was a pressure building up for a very long time, and in this case no action was taken. And when the deceased father took this matter up to the senior authorities of the various school, at that time they said that if you see, your child need to be your child need to improve grades in several subjects. And after that, what we have seen, after this repetitive behavior, this unfortunate incident took place, in which a 16-year-old boy lost his life.
And it just goes on to show you how important it is being a parent, being a teacher, and the responsibility that a school holds. Let me reiterate at this point, we've got the version from the parents, we've seen those protests, we've heard from the police, we've also got the FIR copy, but we're awaiting word from the school in question. Here, there is some breaking news coming in.